Hey everyone, you might not believe this, but I'm here in Washington, Pennsylvania, and this is the road. I'm of a conspiracy theory, or whatever you want to call it, that why did the chicken cross the road joke originated from this specific road. It's only half a mile long. And as you can see, this was a diner, I believe, but now it's called something like a Moose Lodge. You have a neighborhood over here. The road's only half a mile long, so there should only be several options as to why the chicken actually crossed the road. You know, as far as I know, I don't believe there's actually a playground or anything like that, or a barber shop or something. I don't know. So there should be only a couple reasons. Coming up here, there's actually a patch of woods, and so potentially there could be foxes along this road that was chasing the chicken. That could be one reason as to why it crossed the road. Originally I had thought that the diner maybe was trying to catch the chicken and cook it for a meal, and that's why the chicken crossed the road, to get away from the people of the diner, which is a very good reason. Also, pretty soon here, we're going to be coming up on some train tracks. And, you know, chickens, they're not the smartest animals. And even though the train tracks go directly across the road, the chicken might have been frightened by the noise and the sound of the train and just automatically itself ran across the road opposite the sound, finding later that the train just went across the road with it, which would be a very ironic way to understand why the chicken crossed the road. Looking at this on Google Maps, I thought that there'd be less of a neighborhood. I'm kind of surprised that there are a lot more houses, but I'm still at least right by the fact that there's a patch of woods coming up here, and then also the railroad track. I think the railroad track had something to do with it, whether it be where the foxes play, or even where the chicken followed. Maybe the chicken was on the railroad tracks longer than it was on the road, which is a possible idea. Another thing that's new to me is the idea that it's so hilly. I didn't know that it'd be so hilly, you know, going up some curves and things like that. That's I found that to be very unusual. But this is breathtaking. Not just because it's really cold outside and it's harder to breathe, but for the fact that I've looked over this on Google Maps 20-30 times over the past 3 years, and I finally get to be here and say that I've been to the road, potentially the place where the chicken crossed and where the joke originated. And yeah, the railroad tracks look decently the same as to what I visualized them. I believe there's a farm 2 miles south. I could be wrong, and that would be in that direction. So I'm trying to visualize in my head how exactly that would have worked with the chicken coming. I don't know if it would have been I don't know if that would have been running down the railroad tracks or somehow going over Chestnut Road too. That could potentially be another story to tell why you can cross Chestnut, because running away from the farm. I've also never visualized this with snow here as it is now, so that's something new. Oh, and here, this kind of wraps up the whole theory I have as to how this joke originated and actually became a popular thing. Now, I know it's not necessarily historically accurate, and there's a lot that I'm missing out, but I believe that the chicken crossed the road either on a Wednesday evening-ish or on a Sunday morning. That was at the same moment that of the father, who's a pastor, and his son were going to church. And if I was correct, I would say the chicken crossed the road up by the railroad tracks. And when the father and the son crossed, they saw the chicken, and the son was like, "Dad, why did the chicken cross the road?" And his father, out of just wanting to get his son to be quiet, said to get to the other side. And so the boy went and told all of his friends when he got to church, and the pastor used it as a hook to get as a beginning statement for the audience. And apparently it caught on, and I don't know if they posted it somewhere, bulletin, newspaper, or whatever, but to get it going. And that's how everyone got the joke, why did the chicken cross the road? That's my best thought on it. And then we're actually already coming up towards the end of the road. It's only half a mile long. This is crazy. Here's a parking lot. And another thing that would potentially be ironic is if after grabbing the chicken, the father and son brought him back to the farm, which could even possibly have been the same farm that the chicken escaped from. Now there's a lot there, a little to be backed up, but just taking observations on the characteristics of the road itself, that's kind of some of the conclusions I've come up with. You guys can let me know what your thoughts are, because I would really like to hear them. This is something that I didn't as well. See, this might have been established here later, but there's a house right here on the corner and a swimming pool. This is really neat. And I believe, Friendship Community Church. I looked on their website to find what year it was started to kind of historically mark this place, but I couldn't. So I'm just gonna have to leave it like that. I mean, it potentially is a newer church, so that's not to my benefit. But still, it's enjoyable. So I believe that is it. Here we are. That's Prigg Road over there, going that way, and then you have the road. This is the start of the road, and my mind is blown. Wow. Yeah, this is breathtaking.